Good morning, everyone. Brian here with BMK Retro Gaming. This morning I have a review for you guys of the Atari 7800 original library game, Desert Falcon. Now, it was originally being developed by General Computer Corporation, GCC, in 1984, though with the sale of the company to Jack Tramiel, like everything else, it was put on hold, and as everything was under evaluation, and Tramiel disputed whether or not they needed to pay General Computer Corporation for their work or not, and had everything evaluated. Then in 1987, as the Atari 7800 had released and all, and they were looking for a few more games in the library, it was brought back out, polished up, and finished up. Interestingly enough, it was one of those that was also in the program that was going on at Atari, which also some third-party developers had also been doing at the same time, which is, although Desert Falcon started out on the Atari 7800, it also ended up receiving concurrently, I guess you could say, developed Atari VCS 2600 port. Then in '88, it would also get a Atari 8-bit computer, Atari ZEGS port too. So it's a pretty good game. It's an isometric scrolling shooter, very similar to Zaxxon in terms of having the isometric perspective. And basically, you're a falcon who is attempting to, for whatever reason, pick up all the drop treasures from thieves from the temples in Egypt that they have dropped and left behind after being attacked and destroyed by the apparent guardian creatures of the Egyptian temples and such said treasures. So, what a falcon wants with treasure, not sure. I do know some birds such as crows and ravens, which are known to be highly intelligent, in nature are prone to, if they find anything shiny or spot a shiny object, they will go around and mess with it and play with it, if not, take it back to a nest. So perhaps in this particular falcon happens to be thinking like a crow raven, like shiny things. It could happen. Anyway, I have my loose copy of the game right here. Picked up at my local game exchange retailer not too long ago. Focus. Thank you. Here we go, 1987, Atari Corporation. CX7811. Excuse me. It's a super game cartridge, but that's what a lot of them said with the Atari 7800. Interestingly enough, the label is actually in color, which more Atari 7800 games than not were in black and white. Not the 100% best shaped cartridge, but it or label, but it looks decent, and as far as I'm concerned, in better shape than not. I'm not sure if I overpaid for it or paid about what you would expect, but I paid about $12.99 before tax, so not too terribly priced. Probably about what I'd be thinking of. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and toss this into the my Atari 7800, and we're going to take a look at some gameplay. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. So, going to go ahead and get going with a no, no, no. Ah. Okay, here we. Okay, novice, one player. Pretty simple game. It's a two-button game, ironically enough, even though I'm using a controller with just one right now. You can fly, you can hop along the ground. Your Falcon, if needs be, can, I'll show you guys in a second, can even swim. Now you pick up the, for points, the various treasures that you find. And these symbols here are hieroglyphs. That's what the second button is for. When you find 3 of them, depending upon their combination, they will have various effects for you. Some of those effects are actually positive effects and some are negative. If I were using a 2-button controller like the original Pro-Line joysticks, joystick controllers for the Atari 7800, oh darn. Well, they would be activated by pressing the right fire button. Urgh. Of course, in this case, I'm using my Hyperkin Trooper Ranger controller, I think it is, yeah. Which, well, it automatically activates it since it's just a 1-button controller. A little bit slower since I'm just hopping around, but... Okay, with the Sphinx, all you really have to do is hit him in the mouth or eyes, just about, to get rid of him. Since it's an isometric game, you're basically... toughest task at that is making sure you're at the approximate right height. Except for your shadow, you don't get much of a reference for what you're how high you're actually flying. That can be the tricky part. You can memorize the combinations for the hieroglyphs over time if you try, but there are enough different ones that can come out of the hieroglyphs that may not be very advisable to figure out. And there's my game over. We'll give it one more shot real quick since, well, got a little more time to kill. not too aggressive on this first level. The enemies. A bit, yes, but in later levels I've noticed they will switch their approximate height or altitude in order to come directly after you, whereas here they'll fly on past. Oops. The big Sphinx as a kind of in-stage boss at the end is not too tough. At least not once you learn where to hit him. To me, it's a pretty decent game anyway. It's a pretty good game. It was okay regarded. I guess one of the other main differences between it and Zaxxon is that Zaxxon ended up being primarily a second generation game, whereas Desert Falcon happens to at least have originated as a third generation game before being redone, as a second generation game on the Atari VCS 2600, though since the Atari 8-bit computer line would have also originated in the second generation, I guess you could call it in that regard too, though, since the Zegs port is for what's regarded as a third generation home video game console, it kind of crosses that line there too. Darn. That was the air bomb. These were all airborne enemies at one time. And there's game over number 2. Anyway, I think you guys have the idea with the gameplay by now. I hope anyway. Okay, so that was Desert Falcon, a 1987 Atari 7800 original library game. It's pretty good once you get the hang of it. I need to play it more, but as you guys can see, I did okay. Levels aren't too terribly long, but they do get a bit longer. Learning what the different combinations of hieroglyphs actually do, whether good or bad, and trying to memorize that, I can imagine, would be an interesting task for most. But other than that, it's pretty decent. If you guys get a chance to find a copy, or by chance can emulate it somehow, I would recommend taking a look into it. I know isometric shooters like it and Zaxxon are not everybody's favorite type of gameplay, but they are pretty interesting, and from everything I could find, it seems to have been a pretty well-regarded shooter, even though it wasn't the most widely known one. After all, it didn't start out being an arcade port or anything, so it never had an arcade cabinet original or anything. Though, since it was on more than one console, it wouldn't have been entirely console exclusive either. My preferred YouTubers, Phil, the No Swear Gamer, and Retro Comparisons, who has one, his video compares and contrasts the Atari 7800 and Atari VCS 2600 port. Well, they both have nice videos featuring this game, so I will leave links to those. And there's a Wikipedia article, so I'll leave a link to that too. Oh, by the way, a nice warm welcome to one of our new subscribers as of yesterday, Coleco Joe. I've seen how that Joe happens to be subscribed to a couple of my other preferred YouTubers and may have been aware of our channel already, but I found him and gave a subscription, and it didn't take but minutes, and he gave one back, so I'm guessing he might have already been a bit familiar with the channel, and that was just the last push he needed to subscribe. But in any case, Coleco Joe, welcome aboard. Hope that you'll stick around and enjoy this journey through these various game libraries and other things that my channel's going to go through with us. Anyway, if you guys enjoy my channel's content, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't hesitate to leave any questions, comments, or suggestions in the comment section below. The next video coming up should be on Saturday. It will be another homebrew or prototype game. As you guys could possibly anticipate, it's probably going to be Zippy the Porcupine for the Atari VCS 2600. No guarantees, though. And let's see, after that next Wednesday, in 1 week, should be coming up another Atari VCS 2600 original library game review. So that's the way new schedule is going, and I will see you guys then. In the meantime, take care, have a nice morning, and I will see you in my next video.